Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome back to Sunless Seas. We have a child. Now I fear there was a comment telling me exactly what I was supposed to be doing here, but we're just going to wing it because I didn't read this before I started it. It's been a week. But we also have no supplies. I'll make sure I fix that before I leave. So a new arrival. You, your sweetheart, and your child. What will your child call you? Improve my lodgings first. You can't raise a child in a room above a pub. Well, people do. But your sweetheart expects better. Okay, how do we upgrade our room? Purchase an elegant townhouse. Those echoes. Oh my god, it's like Britain right now. Want to buy a house? Give us all of your money. Okay. Well, I was told that resting in the room is actually a good idea if I want to lower my terror, but we've lost one menace's yearning and burning. Okay. The rats keep you awake of night with their muttering and skirmishing, but the bed is warm and the door has a lock. Yes, if my door didn't have a lock, I'd be worried. Now, what do we actually have on us right now? We do have a strange catch. We have lots of fuel and no supplies. It's pretty much the biggest thing we have. We also have loads of port reports. So let's hand in some of those port reports. And what is the day-to-day like on those farther shores? I didn't hand in my Iron Republic one. That's what I forgot, because I was like, it's going to end it, so I'll do it last. But somebody did mention that in a comment. Thank you very much. Ah, yes, the congregation that worships stories. What did they tell you? Nothing, I guess. Well, we got 15 echoes, which isn't bad, and 1 fuel. And then we will hand in our Iron Republic. Excuse me, I need to unlock this, and this, oops, and this. Could you place your report inside? Yes, I imagine someone will read it eventually. There's always some. Gain some terror. And perhaps it's best you leave. Okay. So, oh, my phone is vibrating. How unprofessional. I probably won't pick it up on the microphone, but you know, I do have a needed drink. It's suddenly, excuse the bottle, it's suddenly like 35 degrees in the United Kingdom or something ridiculous like that. I think it's like 25 or something, but it's really hot. Anyone who's been watching my channel for a long time knows that this room here, it's quite hot. It appears to be quite a large room, but with all this technology in it, it tends to get quite warm. So it'll be fine as long as I get this over with. So there isn't really anything new here that we can do. I think we are literally just still trying to talk to people. But first of all, let's buy some food. Some supplies here. 20. So expensive. 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go with 5. I don't want to spend all my money, even though I could do with upgrading my ship and things, but we can't because we don't have enough money. So I guess exploration is the way to go. We have a lot of fuel. Our terror's not great, but there's a few places I've been told that I should probably look, and I think it's time we tried to look into this third, like, not ring, I guess, line, because there's this line here, and then this line. And we could stop off at like Gator's Morn. I think the quickest way, we just go straight forward and see what we find. To be honest, so let's have a look. I've probably forgotten something horrendously obvious. We definitely need money. All I can say, we need money, and exploration is the quickest way to find money in this game. Hopefully, we don't come across any giant crabs. I have been informed that my terror influences the kind of monsters that I will find on the sea floor. Or Z floor, I should say. And high terror is not necessarily a good thing when it comes to going underwater. But then again, high terror is rarely a good thing in this game, full stop. As people who play this probably know. But I think if we just go straight forward There's not many lights. I'm thinking, should we jump between lights? Go down here, past gators, guiders more, gators. I don't know how you say that properly. Or we could go down here and uncover this. That seems like a much better idea. Let's go with that idea. If we go here, I really would like a faster engine. I do remember reading something a while back that Failbetter, when they introduced the engines into Sunless Skies, they did it for all of the ships, because in Sunless Seas, everyone always just picked the quickest ship. And I do kind of understand why they picked the quickest ship, because there's a lot of travelling in this game, and not much happens for the vast majority of it, until something does happen, and then you die. That's pretty much that's kind of what I've learned. Oh bugger. Oh bugger. Oh bugger. Crack pirate frigate. Is that like pirates that are on crack, or is that like crack as in top of the class crack? There is a difference, because if they're on crack, I think we can take them. If they're the best in their class, I don't think we can take them. Jump through here. Hopefully by going between the lights we are minimizing the amount of risk and terror we're gaining. It's still going up, obviously, but it's going to be going up a lot less than if I was just gunning it through the dark. Okay, here we go. We're coming up to unexplored waters. I will use the bat. I believe, is it Z? The buttons being slightly different. I should rebind all the buttons so that they're similar to Sunless Skies. But, yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. It's one thing I meant to do. I meant to turn up the music in this game. I keep remember doing it in post. And then I fit my music around the music that's in the game. Okay, I love the way I was like, oh, we'll go between the lights. We enter the snares. Oh god, it's a frickin'... There are no islands within the Z-Bat's range. Apparently I can click on them, by the way, and it will tell me what they are. So I will keep that in mind. That was another thing that was commented on the last episode. I got quite a lot of good hints and tips in the last episode when it came to comments. I do like it when people answer my questions. It means that, well, I don't like looking things up. I'd rather gain the knowledge through other people. I find it's more entertaining that way than just going, Google, what is the best thing in Sunless Seas? What is this, other than a big crab? Some distance to the southeast. South is this way. That crab is going faster than us, and it's coming. I think we might be in trouble, lads. We can't fight it, that's for sure. What is this? Damn it. You know I'm here? I think it does. There's a dock. Quick. We might be able to get there. It's coming. It's coming. There's a dock here. I don't know what it is, where we are, or anything, but I'm going to dock there. Because I want to hide from the gilly flower. Or flower. Gilly flower. Huzzah! Pig Moat Isle. On a lonely, deserted beach. There is no habitation in sight. No market, only an old, rotting dock. A stretch of sand thickens into damp, black earth from which sprout stunted palms? Not quite. Tall, fungal growths with frond-like caps, as if someone had sculpted the idea of a tree from a mushroom. The progress of a nation. War. As you step onto the quay, you hear clamour, shouts and shooting. You can see, off in the distance, smoke rising from beyond the hill, and dots of fire flecking the horizon. Two tiny figures stand a little further down the quay, unmoving, as if awaiting your approach. That book is bleeding. The following is an extract from the popular Diary of a Sea Captain, from London to Irem, and what we did there before we arrived. Washed ashore on Mutton Island, and subsequently serialized in the Unexpurged Gazette. The author's identity remains unknown. Okay. Well, isn't this strange? The Tale of Pigmote Isle, in which a delegation is made, a choice is presented, war is declared, a most singular treasure is sought by all, and a new empire is founded with tooth and claw. I always joked that I wanted to do a video. Well, not joked. It's kind of like one of those things. It's kind of a joke, but it isn't a joke. It's something I intend to do but haven't got round to yet. Of just reading a book. I think I may be getting a little bit of a snapshot here. Okay, Chapter 1. The Delegation. The figures were rodents. To my left was a Ratus Faber, wearing goggles, a blacksmith's apron, and an assortment of tools. To my right, an unusually large guinea pig, wearing a helmet and breastplate reminiscent of nothing so much as the High Middle Ages. The rat stepped forward first and bowed. Welcome, Captain, to Ratstar Island. I am Edgar, 2nd Chief Engineer of the 3rd Rat Brigade. I invite you to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice. The rat stepped back. At precisely the same moment, with what appeared to be the ease of a long habit, the guinea pig scuttled forward and made a declamatory chirp. Welcome, Captain, to the Isle of Caviar. I am Lady Augusta Derivau Switch of the Blackwater Switches. Schneschel. To our King Gracenor, first of his name. I invite you to avail yourself of food and fuel at our expense. The only cost to you is a choice. The two stood at attention, looking at me expectantly. So, Chapter 2, Alike in Dignity. The two remarkable rodents sat, squatted, both seeking my support. I knew I had to choose carefully. So we can speak to the chief engineer. His eyes had a wave-cold glint to them, and he wore his scars like jewels. Or we can speak to the Schneschel. How did an armoured guinea pig manage to look regal? Okay, we can speak to both and then we make a choice, so I'll speak to them both. Let's speak to the chief engineer. I asked the chief engineer to elaborate. He looked at me for a long, measured moment before speaking gruffly. We came to this island to make a home for ourselves away from London. Its cats and snuffers, its rat skin suits. We came to live as citizens of our own republic. We came with our tools, our teeth, our clever minds, and we made a beautiful city by the light of the Ratstar that shone bright and blue on Mount Ararat. The chief engineer nodded toward the distant hill. One day, we braved the depths of the chicken woods, and from the top of Mount Ararat, we plucked the Ratstar to be our light, our beacon. But the pigs of Cavi saw the light, and they lusted for it. They sent armies to rule us and steal our star. We will not permit them to take what is ours. We will resist them to our last breath. Will you join us in defeating them? Oh. Okay, let's speak to the Schneschel. This is going to be fun. The Schneschel cleared her throat with a delicacy to rival the Duchess's own before speaking. Gracenor, the king, our lord and sovereign, full 7 months, has sojourned on the sea, conquered this land and won the southern main. Now no fortress against him shall remain, no city walls be left for him to gain. Save the rats that squeak behind mountain, unlikely was the lamb of our deliverance, assured shall be the glory and their fall. When our lady's eye restored be to our hall. The Schneschel composed herself, then added, We saw truth and beauty by the light of Our Lady's eye on Mount Caveat. But the rats, with their guns and their chatter and their peasants' politics, stole it from us. We will subjugate them and take it back. They are a rabble, and we will rule them with the steel-shod velvet of our paws. Will you join us? Oh no! Do I side with the guinea pigs or do I side with the rats? I do have a soft spot for the Ratus Faber of the fallen London universe, so I think I will make the choice of sided with the chief engineer. I feel like the guinea pigs invaded this isle by their stories, but I don't know because they act like that star was theirs before the rats found it, so the rats could be the ones who stole it. But okay, I sided. Oh, I can attempt to broker a peace. Ah, third option, but first I sided with the engineer. He seemed grumpy, but honest. Also, I knew all too well what rat-made weapons do. Or I can favour the Schneschel. Was it her charm or a fondness for London's rat-skin coats that swayed me? Perhaps a little of both. At any rate, I was keen to find out more about their civilization. Or I attempted to broker a peace. Surely their commonalities were more numerous than their differences. Perhaps I could help them get along. Now I am going to go for the peace option. My words helped them reach agreement. The chief engineer and the Schneschel shared a look and regarded me with scornful amusement. Yes, smirked the chief engineer, you're obviously much cleverer than us. Oh, much, murmured the Schneschel. You clearly know us much better than we know ourselves. Apparently, idealism would not help here. Oh. Well, I'm sorry for trying to broker world peace. You've got to try, haven't you? Okay, well, screw them. I'm going to side with the rats. I extended a finger to the chief engineer, who shook it grimly. The Schneschel hissed and chattered her teeth in disgust, but kept her distance. You've made the right choice, said the chief engineer. Let me show you around. So we gained one fuel and one supply. And we got an occurrence, your memoirs, a rat in the making. You chose to help the rats. Oh boy, I'm going to take a drink before I do this. Excuse me for a second. I really should have brought water with me. It's less noisy than drinking from a bottle of Coke. Normally, I come into Sunless Skies and Sunless Seas videos expecting to read a little bit. When I go into Fallen London, I prepare, but I was not expecting ages to read. I do like this though, it's very good. Okay, so chapter 3, a rat in the making. The chief engineer led me to the northern side of the island, skirting the chicken woods. We passed through a number of what can only be termed checkpoints, as fierce-eyed rats shouldered their derringers and saluted the chief engineer. Soon, we come upon a small colony, smaller than some of the infestations I had encountered in London flats. Perhaps only 50 Ratus Faber altogether, working diligently to fortify their side of the island. The first thing I noticed was a brilliant light beaming out from a stump of chickenwood about 6 feet high. It bathed the whole settlement in a clean blue glow and was almost too bright to look at. By its light I could see several raised mounds of earth, suggesting shallow tunnels. An efficient fishing operation was set up by the water, an albino rat mending nets while others stabbed sharpened sticks into the waves. Further inland was a barracks, where a sergeant barked drills at a small squadron of fighters. My arrival drew attention, and several rats paused in their work to look at me curiously. Welcome to Zubmariner, said the chief engineer's voice warm with pride. It's not much to look at now, but it will be once we've roused the cavies. Take a stroll around while I summon the war council. With that, he vanished into one of the mounds and left me to explore. Okay, let's start with the Rats Barracks. The drill sergeant appeared to be sizing me up. Were there few rats around here really all she had to launch an attack? I approached the drill sergeant and went so far as to salute her, which earned me a grunt of satisfaction. The sergeant dismissed her troops and offered me a bit of chicken wood jerky to gnaw on. There's more of us below ground, she explained, but not enough. The cavies are bigger, and there's more of them. We're better with weapons, but we haven't got the stuff to make them with. Most of us came here as stowaways and brought nothing but food, tools, and the fur on our backs. We can fish and we can nibble the chicken woods, but we can't make guns out of trees. The cavies came here with their own steamer and seem to have endless supplies. We raided them sometimes, but there's so few of us, and we can never hold to territory gained for long. But that's of no consequence. All we want is to be left in peace to build our republic. And the Ratstar, she added thoughtfully after a moment. Of course, we want that too. Okay, let's take a closer look at the Ratstar. An excitable-looking rat was peering at it through smoky goggles, twitching her whiskers and making notes on what appeared to be real paper. It's not a star, of course. Not really. But try explaining that to the others. The chief engineer doesn't want me working too hard to convince them. Says this is better for morale. But just look at it. Look! She offered me her goggles. I managed to work them over just enough of one of my eyes to see the truth of what she was studying. It was a scintillact, but unlike any I'd seen before, blue as a sapphire but more brilliant. Something about the clarity of its colour was tremendously soothing. The chief science officer tittered with pleasure as I handed her goggles back. Those of us who've been to the Cavi side of the island and lived to tell of it say there is plenty of glow there. Plenty of bright in the water all round, but nothing like this. We took this from the island's centre, Mount Avarat. Only it's not a mountain, of course, any more than this is a star. It's hollow. There's sweet water inside and coral crawling all up the walls of it, but nothing that glows, save from this. It's ours now, and no one can take it from us. I really hope there's an option to steal this because it sounds really cool. It's a bit cold, but I fear an item that could generate light could be one of the most beneficial items in this game. I headed down to the beach. Whoever heard of a rat mending a net? An albino rat smiled up at me from his mending work, looking daintily and a little shy. Chicken wood floats, especially when it's dried out and sealed, so we're able to paddle out a bit and cast our nets. We've come up with all sorts of things, blind fish, crabs, sometimes a chunk of broken tentacle, but the fishing would never be so good without the Ratstar. He beamed. I think it only draws good fish, and keeps the scary ones at bay. I know the chief science officer doesn't believe it, but I do. That light is our livelihood. It's definitely selling me for, stealing this. I can feel it. The bells of the War Council rang. I was summoned. The chief engineer emerged from underground with a motley assortment of other rats. He introduced them as weapons experts, strategists, and field commanders. So you're going to help us beat the Cavies, he said, a hard edge to his voice. But how, exactly? Okay, so we can offer my strategic assistance at 49%, probably not a good idea. We engineered a distraction that the LBs could use to plunder the Cavi ship and turn the tide in their favour. Or I determined to take the lead. I had a ship, I had cannons. We would steer her to the southern side of the island and have those uppity animals. The iron gives us 100%, so I am going to go with that. A palpable hit. The rats gave me what information they possessed about the Cavi settlement, but I still had to improvise a great deal on the spot. A perfect storm of speed, stealth, and strength in arms favoured us, our cannons letting fly a volley of shot onto the beach before the Cavies could scramble onto their grounded ship to man its guns. Screams and squeals filled the air. The enemy fled. A damp hush settled over my crew as the smoke cleared to reveal the torn, bloodied bodies of guinea pigs littering the shore. A grim business, but I had honoured my commitment to the rats and found a wealth of scintillact ringing the beach to harvest as spoils. We have 3 scintillact and 1 bale of parabola linen. Okay. The house of Cavi had fallen. Marintia was triumphant. All that remains were the celebrations and the continuation of our voyage. Oh, how we feasted long into the night. Then... Okay, I invited one of the Ratstar to join us. After all, what is a ship without a few rats? That would give us an albino tinker. I interceded on behalf of the Cavies. They were crushed, defeated, and I could see their spirits broken without the light of the Ratstar to guide them. They needed an advocate. Or the wide dark sea beckoned. We had eaten our fill and our business was concluded. It was time to continue our voyage to see what other wonders and terrors still awaited us. It does seem a little bad to just leave the Cavies. But then on the other hand, I kind of want an albino rat. He probably won't go very well with the cat. Well, I wonder what happens if we intercede on behalf of the Cavies. I appealed to the chief engineer's moral fortitude and sense of fair play. Perhaps the Cavies suffered the loss of the light from the centre of the island. Perhaps they were only trying to get it back, not steal it from the rats. The chief engineer looked troubled, but shook his head. "You fought one battle, Captain," he said gravely. "We fought hundreds against them. They're monsters, pure and simple, and the sooner we're rid of them, the better." Rid of them? I saw by the light of the scintillact a dozen rats using a steam pinnace supplies to build something that looked remarkably like a sausage machine. Oh, good God. I guess I'll invite one of the Ratstar to join us. After all, what is a ship without a few rats? The chief engineer couldn't leave his colony, but he relayed my request to his people. The albino rat I saw mending nets shyly stepped forward. "I'm good at fixing things," he said earnestly, "and I'd like to see more of the world." I waited for him to gather up some effects and say goodbye to his family before accompanying him aboard. Okay. And the wide dark sea beckoned. And that is the end. There, you finish your diary entry, and the final dregs of the rat's surprisingly good wine. They line up to salute you as you leave the victory banquet, escorting you to your ship through the foundations of their new republic. Okay. Well, that took up the entire episode. And it was lovely. Oh, hello. Ah, can steal the Ratstar. Oh, I want the Ratstar. But I am afraid that I'm leaving. I'm just going to dock again to make sure it saves. I'm afraid I am going to have to end the episode here. I mean, that was lovely. Any advice on should we steal the Ratstar? Is that a good idea? I mean, I help these people and I kind of save them. But, you know, they do stuff. We'll look at it in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Your comments are greatly appreciated. I do read them all, even if I don't reply. I am sorry. I do try. But as always, I'll see you next time.